Hello all, welcome to the fifth part of the Quality Assurance Engineering series. This is me, George Bligoropoulos, and this is my LinkedIn if you want to know a bit more about me. Today's focus is going to be in a single phrase, actually. We're going to try to define the QA role, and I say try because we're going to give a definition, but feel free to update it, change it, stretch it to fit your own needs, your own mentality, your own culture. Well, since these are the early days of this new artificial intelligence ChatGPT, this chatbot, we asked it to give its own definition of the QA role in a single phrase, and this was within the quotes, ensuring the quality and reliability of a company's product or services through testing and analysis. I very much like that it included the end analysis at the end. I believe that a lot of times you are stopping on testing in the software industry, but again, it feels a little bit that we can do much better in this definition because it feels that ensuring the quality and the reliability of the company's products or services, it feels like that the QA is something that is doing this alone, and of course, it comes from the title itself that, quality assurance, assurance, ensuring, similar things. Um, but the point is but why is this so important, and why you need to have this on the wall? As what you actually believe is, especially in a new company or in a team that is newly introduced to QA. They had the objective to deliver as fast as possible so far, and you have some people coming, and those people are they're going to care for the quality, right? And the point is that what the rest, all of the teams have in mind about those people. So they're just some people who are going to help with the quality. Like, do you understand how vague that is? Um, or even worse, those people are just testers to me, and nothing else. They have a single simplified role of someone who is doing manual executions, for example, or he's just clicking or tapping on the mobile app, and that is his entire role, or simply create defects, as many defects as he like. Just very uh, but this needs to be clearly defined so that everyone in the team can, so we can have something optimal. So you can have a smooth collaboration. You need to tell to your entire team, both to the quality assurance engineers and to the rest of the engineering team and to the entire company, that these people are for quality, but their role is exactly that. So from a definition, it derives when does the role start, when does the role stop, etc. Right? And the whole confusion usually starts from this picture here. Let me bring this down. So the arrows here are delivering, as I say at the bottom, delivering or serving to. So this is, very simplified. You can have here 30 microservices, and it can be much more complex. But for the sake of that, is like it feels like some kind of database where the truth, the data lies, the storage lies, serves the backend. The backend with its various synchronous or asynchronous services, etc., and all its business logic written in the code, is serving the mobile apps and the web apps, for example. And now the whole confusion starts because it seems like, that QA is something totally separate, and the mobile apps and the web apps are served to the QA. The QA does its magic, supposedly, and it's serving something that's bug free, supposedly again, to the product owners or managers. And then, if they are like fully satisfied, or not only themselves, if they see that the product um, is appropriate for the end users, for the customers, then they are serving the product to them. But the point is that all of them here at the top are actually one team, right? The users and customers, of course, are outside of the company. We're not serving the same. We don't have the same goals, let's say. Um, uh, yeah, it's good for the product to be aligned with what the customer needs, but again, also the company has its own goals, and but all of these at the top are on the same team, on the same company, and this is why we need to, to specify how the QA stands here between all of them, and how does it help the product exactly. First of all, let's start by saying what the QA is not, but has been blamed for, as the title says, quite often. One of the things that you have seen is sometimes formally, sometimes informally between conversations, you have heard that the QA is kind of the role of the bad guy, the role of the police. And this usually happens because of the, as we have might have said in other videos, is because of the poor time management, right? Because you have the time management, and if you don't know how to handle appropriately all the findings of the QA, then you're putting enormous pressure on the developers to solve those issues, and of course, I mean, who brought those issues to the surface in the first place? It was the QA team, so uh, they're going to be blamed. And the other factor that checking your work is not always, it cannot be derived, it cannot be connected with the best feelings that you can have, right? And a remedy of that is proper management. For example, do you see any QA forcing dev team to resolve issues or similar, like stop him or her, right? Like, if you see anyone that is forcing for something to, the QA is there to, the QA doesn't have the luxury to have the grand overview picture of things, of the prioritization, or doesn't have the all the things that perhaps the product owner has seen the analytics from the business intelligence team, or other things, analytics in Firebase and stuff, or other kinds of input that he has. And the point is that the QA does not know and can prioritize, but cannot enforce of when something is going to be resolved. So the QA is not the police. Just anything that resembles that, you need to manage this and explain this to everyone, including QA and engineers. Another thing is that the QA is not a parent, and we say here that if you have any engineer who is delivering buggy code all of the time, hold him or her accountable. Now, is the because the unfortunately sometimes we have seen this uh, parent-child relationship between devs and QAs. I hope you didn't have the experience, but through the all of these years that I'm in the IT industry, I have seen this a bit of times. So what means is that the developers are kind of always excused of delivering buggy code, but sometimes if this is really really trivial, this you need to hold perhaps a single developer, or perhaps an entire team accountable of why is this happening, why do we have trivial defects. Of course, all kinds of defects that are very tricky scenarios. This is why you have the QA. One of the reasons you have the QA in the first place, right? The tricky scenarios, software engineers do not have the time to uh, to deal with them, uh, and we want to help to catch even to reduce the complexity. So you cannot have tricky scenarios starting with, but yeah, the problem here is the parent-child relationship is when you're saying that a buggy code all of the time, right? And something that QA is not. The third thing here is that, let me again remove myself from here so you can see this more clearly, that QA is not a shield. So this here at the bottom, I should have put like an X because it's not like that. I mean, if you have anyone if you have any QA engineer promising it can protect the product from any bug, you should not believe him or her. So the QA, um, either it will have to be a lot of people, one to one, one engineer, one QA person, or perhaps even more to catch all the systematic issues that might arise there. But the issue here is that you have your uh, your dev team, and supposedly the dev team, you know, I mean, I understand this, right? It's if you're an engineer, it's understandable. It's in human nature. You want this reassurance, right? You want that that you have a team that is protecting you. That it's a shield. It's a shield that can protect you, and the QA then it's going to deliver to the end customer here an awesome product. But you know, uh, it's a shield that can protect us, and this also might be also the whole root cause of the police or the parent role here that we just described. So please let's put an X. Maybe also this something to put on your wall. An X of this kind of perspective, and uh, do not disengage the software engineering from the end product because it's actually their work that contains the quality factor inside. So let's start by the definition of the QA role. So we're building a phrase now, and we're going to explain each part of this phrase piece by piece. The definition of the QA role is that it is quality assurance. It's not quality assurance. It's not testing. Quality assurance is different from quality control. Quality control resembles testing because quality control is actually like checking the product if they are of quality. So it's actually the testing part is the part of the manual or manual or automated executions. It doesn't really matter. Um, but you see what I just did there. I put these two QA guys here. Within here six software engineers, and this is the team, and the whole team delivers the product. You should not, don't create a shield as we talked about. The whole team create this product. So you have quality assurance is both helping, start building our phrase now, right? So what does it mean helping? First of all, like complementing business analysis with scenarios. When you have the business analysis, never expect this. This is a utopia. A lot of people say that their business analysis is vague, is not super and clearly specified. The point is because it's not its role, or because some things, the best practices are left to the dev team to resolve. And here comes the QA to start running its the whole software without having been built first, maybe only having the design available, and you start building it in your head, thinking about all the different scenarios, start branching it out, and start from the happy path, and then changing the happy path to stretch it, to try to break it as much as possible, thinking of valid scenarios that users will do, and users are, you know, as you know, they can do all sorts of crazy scenarios, and you have to think about those. And not of course invalid scenarios. This is out of the question. And first of all, it's helping. Sorry, second of all, it's helping with writing automation scenarios for speed of execution. So you want their help because you're gonna build a regression suite over time that covers all of that. They're experiencing. I'm saying this, not executing, actually experiencing the product before the customer via manual scenarios. So what this means is like when you're doing a manual scenario, you're not just a robot that executes the same thing that the automation scenario is executing faster. It's only that you don't have it perhaps yet. It's because you're experiencing the product. So this is, and it could be more things, but it's both helping and enabling. Let's see, let's move myself again to see this more clearly. Um, it's both helping and enabling the team to deliver in to deliver as high possible quality product. And the point here, by enabling the team, here again, we're gonna analyze each of those, I believe, in separate videos. So no worries about it. We're gonna go through this fast. Um, and enabling the team to deliver an as high as possible quality product, right? So this is completely separate from the helping. Quality assurance is both helping. We saw some things that it could help, but the point is also the second part is very, very important. How are you going to enable the team? You're going to enable the entire team to deliver. So this means that because the quality assurance is responsible for the quality in general, wants to change the things to deliver in as high quality as possible, because it wants to change, because if you're only checking for bugs, you're just going to ensure that the quality, you're just going to assure that the quality is only what is specified. But the point is you want to take it a bit further, and try to and have the patience, of course, right? This could take perhaps years to slowly shift, show the benefits of having higher quality product, and shift the whole team towards that. And this can be done with measuring quality with metrics. Some numbers are always useful in any kind of discussion. Suggesting new tools to automatically identify quality. And again, we're going to explain how to use. I'm not saying to use SonarQube, for example, to start changing your code with all the SonarQube suggestions. I'm saying to view it in general. To It's because SonarQube has some kind of metrics its own there from the static analysis, and it can help pinpoint which components are more complex and which are more simple. It can suggest new processes, can suggest new practices, etc. Basically, enabling the team to deliver high quality product. Next thing, but is doing the above, but in as little delivery cycles as possible. And this is, of course, now the QA wants to enable the delivery of high quality, but now the QA, you see something here that you might not expect, is like the QA starts caring for delivering quality fast. So it cares for the speed. And I'm not saying about having pulling more resources. You can always have a faster way by for example, bringing more people inside the team, hiring more people. But I'm talking about when you're first releasing, and I have this table here, my go through that is simpler. It's like imagine that you always, in every sprint, you always write 200 scenarios, just to simplify this. And the sprint is a 2 week sprint, for example, as a common Scrum way. And uh, you have a lot of sprints going through, this, I believe this is like 2 years, right? So this is a 2 years uh, having 200 scenarios, again 200 scenarios, but you're expecting this. If at the beginning you had a lot of miscommunication between QA and dev team, etc., and you had 200 scenarios, and you had from all of these scenarios 90 defects from all of the QA engineers were raised. So imagine that, yeah, like you have written 200 scenarios, and almost half of them are being raised as defects. The point is for this, in order to to go forward in general, both in terms of speed and quality, and be better and have brought some kind of health in our system, it needs this to be decreased. So this means that the 200 scenarios means fewer defects. 200 scenarios means even fewer defects, fewer, and after 2 years, ideally, and this is not very bad. From 200 scenarios, and let's say 200 new scenarios, right? It's not the same scenarios here. It's like we're building new features and we have new scenarios. From imagine that you have built a new feature, you have written 200 scenarios for that. The entire team, QA team, has written those scenarios, and you only have 20 defects, and this is fine. This is more than fine. It's like, this might be the high, like very premium, let's say, kind of scenarios. Might be prioritized as that not to be resolved, for example, which means that we have reached the point that the immediately not defects are not being raised, not a lot of these are being raised. The somehow and this somehow we're gonna analyze it in other videos how we can go there. The entire team, including software engineers and QA engineers, managed to bring a product um, that it is of high quality from the first release, right? Not from doing this ping pong between QAs or delivering and saying that we're going to update it and fix it in a later release to the customers. Um, and at the end, closing this definition of the QA role, given the restriction of the resources, you have to do all of that. Of course, thinking of your resources always, because this is highly dependent on that. And I believe that this is the end of this video. And thank you very much for your time for watching this. And of course, again, this is debatable. You can stretch it, you can break it. Feel free to communicate with me if you like, to perhaps together we can build an even better, more generic definition that can be used in the software industry, and it will be even more helpful. So again, the whole goal here is to have this and communicate this with the rest of and all of the team, have this definition of the QA role, and say to everyone that this is what those people are. This is how we see the quality assurance team. This is what we aspire from them. And if you have this culture to communicate this openly to everyone and define and redefine this over time in order to have everyone on the same page regarding the definition of the QA role, then kudos to you. You have an amazing culture there, and that's all. Thank you very much.